Are you looking there, Scott?
Yeah, that works.
There we go, okay. All right. Welcome to the Atkins City Council meeting of November 25th, 2025. We welcome you all to the meeting tonight. And first item, we will have the Pledge of Allegiance. Please stand.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I want to welcome new council member Bob Stolen with us tonight. So with the roll call, begin with Bob Stolen,
Present.
David Fisher,
Present.
E.J. Bell,
Present.
and Trevor Dursky.
Present.
And Samantha Peterson is absent this evening. And she notified us of that. Right. Moving on to item number 2 for this evening, we have the approval of the agenda of the City Council. Do we have such a motion?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay. Motion by Fisher, second by Bell. Any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, the roll call vote is Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
E.J. Bell,
Aye.
and Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, at this time, we have the citizens' opportunity to address the council on any items that are not on the agenda. That in conformance with the Iowa Open Meetings Law, no action or deliberation can occur on the items presented. We ask that you walk to the council, to the lectern, state your name and address, and 3 minutes to discuss.
Okay, my name is Andy Jones, and I am here representing the Fremont Township trustees, and I am the clerk of the trustees. And just give you a little bit of an update, the Legion Hall was heavily damaged in the derecho, as you all know, and it is owned by the Fremont Township trustees. Okay, so they in turn then leased that building to the Legion. We have had extensive repairs done to the building. We did collect a little over $463,000 from FEMA, and then $150,000 in insurance, so a little over $613,000. And we have spent, in order to make the necessary repairs to date, around $667,000. So we're short about $54,000. Much of that money went to repairs that needed to be made that weren't caused by the derecho, like plumbing and issues from just the age of the building that FEMA would not cover. So one of those items that has not been fixed is the generator to that building. It's in the back of the building. The building is considered to be in the county emergency management plan as an emergency shelter for the community. And so the trustees have sent me tonight to see if the city would be willing to help make the necessary repairs or replacement to the generator in the back of the building. I have gotten itemization of a quote from G&H Electric, and it would be to replace the generator. We have had it looked at, and it's not repairable, so we do need to replace it. Wayne Gibney has given us a quote on a 20 kW Kohler generator, and the bid is $10,084. So I guess I would just like to, seek the city's help in some regard to see if they can't help us replace that generator, seeing how it is a facility that is used for the community as an emergency shelter. And I guess I need to know if there's other formal action that we need to take in order to pursue this. So we'd like to get it replaced as soon as possible, just for the benefit of the community.
Would we have to put that on the
It
agenda
could be
next
on the
time?
next agenda if you'd like, we can put it on the next agenda and develop an agreement with Andy of the township and bring it back to the council for your consideration at the December 9th meeting. I'd agree with Andy, it is listed as emergency shelter,
lately for grants and monies. There's a generator grant program that came out of Cedar Rapids plus the ratio. There was plenty of money, but it ended in 2023. And Homeland Security and all them, they're more than willing to help us out, and we won't see anything until next year if we even get it.
Okay.
Can we get the numbers that he was referencing? Would that be possible to get what they've paid so far?
I'll get it from you.
What the Legion, the township has paid so far, so we have from the ratio of what was covered by FEMA, what was not.
And the main thing you're looking for is just the generator, correct?
Yeah, it'd be nice, the township trustees do have a bank note on the portion that was not paid of $54,000. If you'd like to help repay that, I'm sure. They're willing to accept that donation as well.
Fair enough. Hey, the worst case scenario, somebody could say no, they say yes,
Never hurts to ask.
Exactly.
I just compliment you, Andy, on the work that's been done down there. Several of us have been in there recently, and know a lot more events are going on down there. It's a great facility for the community.
Yeah, it does look really nice, so it looks good.
All right. And moving on to item number 4, unfinished business. We have ordinance 237, an ordinance amending the code of ordinance of the city of Atkins by adding a new section and establishing city utility accounts, deposit required. And this is the second reading of this ordinance tonight. We'll forego reading that, but Scott, would you give us a review on any
Sure.
highlights there?
Yep, that's, this will be the second reading on that particular ordinance, and it's establishing the rental deposit for, what we discussed last time, to help protect the city in the event that we have customers that fall into arrears and in landlord situations where we're not able to put a lien on the property. So in the past, we have got kind of stuff with some bad debt there, so we put a $150 deposit is what we're suggesting here in the ordinance. That covers 1 month of typical utility costs for us.
Motion to approve ordinance 237.
I'll second.
Okay, motion by Fisher, second by Bell to approve. Any further discussion? Hearing none, the roll call vote. Bob Stoven,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
BJ Bell,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries. Okay, moving on then to new business, fire station building improvement project. Scott, will you give us an update?
Yep, thank you, Mayor. You got a copy of what is pay application number 10 now in your packet. Of course, the general contractor is Garland Construction of Belle Plaine. This work covers the period of October 1st through the end of October. Contract date was January 21st of 2025, and the end date is just about a year later, so about the end of January 2026. Still on schedule, a little ahead of schedule actually on it. If you recall, the original contract sum was $3,376,000. We've had a very low amount of change orders on the project, totaling less than $6,000 in net on that. So we've been able to add some adds, but then we add some deducts. So basically the net is we're just under $6,000 so far on over $2 million of expenditures. So that's a really good number. The retainage on this particular pay estimate, of course, at 5%, so it's $127,188. The less previous payments that we made previously, $2,002,890.21. So that leaves a current balance for this payment of $451,687, and a balance to finish plus the retainage at $927,388.27. Again, this pay estimate is in the amount of $451,687. This takes us to about 76% complete on the project. Again, this pay estimate covers, if we run through that real quick, about $21,000 of it is for just general administration costs and fixed costs, Masonry, we had a fair amount of masonry on this one. Overhead doors is one of the more substantial line items on this particular pay estimate. Drywall, they've been doing a lot of drywalling and painting over there, so that's included in this estimate. The metal wall panels was in this one as well. Plumbing fixtures, so you got a copy of some stored materials, some pictures of that. There's about 40,000 on this pay estimate for storage materials for plumbing fixtures. Quite a bit of HVAC equipment, materials, and labor on this one. Got almost a little over 100,000 on this pay estimate for that. Electrical, also we had quite a bit here on electrical, about 60,000 or so worth of electrical work on this. And again, as I mentioned, we're at 76% complete on the project so far. So also has, in terms of the access control system, we had costs on this pay estimate associated with that. Permark's been getting stuff going over there for their audio, video installation, fire alarms, all that kind of stuff was also covered on this one. And then just general site work again, some grading, paving work as well. So that's pretty much what's been done this last month.
Have they given any estimate of completion yet?
Yeah, we're ahead. So the contract completion date is the end of January, but we expect we're a few weeks ahead of that.
Awesome.
All right. So do we have a motion to approve estimate number 10 in the amount of $451,687? Motion by Dursky,
Second.
There you go, Bob.
second by Stolen. Any further discussion? Hearing none, roll call. Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
E.J. Bell,
Aye.
and Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries. Moving on then to number 5B. This is an update on the City of Atkins Employee Handbook Personnel Policy Manual. And Scott,
Yep.
review that.
Thank you, Mayor. So we've been talking about this for a few meetings now, and you've all had a copy distributed to you of the proposed updated employee handbook dated November of 2025, which would replace the existing handbook that we have, which is June 16, 1997. So this is the existing manual that we have today, and this is the new one that will be coming in place. So in terms of, not that you measure everything by the pages, but we went from about 33 pages to about 56 pages with the new one. So we'll have this bound and with a cover page and a hardback on it, following approval tonight to be distributed to the employees. But as I mentioned in the previous meeting, we covered this with all the employees that had a chance to review and contribute. And thanks to the council and mayor as well for your contributions to this. Again, we've had this existing manual for quite a while. That's not to suggest that it hasn't been periodically updated. It has been, but none of those have been really compiled into one solid manual that we have presented here tonight. So again, we worked with legal counsel. This was originally drafted in 2022, and we just kind of picked it up from there and finished it out with a few adjustments on top of that. But all in all, I think it's a good product and nice to have it wrapped up. I don't know if anybody has any questions on that.
Nope, just glad to see it's finally done. It only took 28 years.
When does it become effective?
As soon as we adopt it. Yep, so then we'll have it printed and distributed to the employees.
And then the employees probably have to sign
Yep, the acknowledgement, yep, that's the
Awesome.
very last page of it, so they'll have the acknowledgements, those will all be updated. Like I said, we've reviewed it with them.
Sounds good.
Yeah, pretty extensively, so.
Make a motion to approve that since.
Second.
Motion by Bell, second by Fisher. Any further discussion?
What was the feedback from staff?
They offered some good suggestions on it. Give you an example, one we had in the acknowledgement form, there was a waiver of trial by jury. So I I give them credit for reading it, and they asked me what the distinction was. I said, well, you still have a bench trial, just your, but we took that piece out. But they gave a pretty good, thorough review of it. There's just a number of suggestions that they had made about leave and various things throughout it.
Okay. All right, with the roll call vote then, Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
E.J. Bell,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
motion carries. And moving on to item number 5C, 2025 Annual Tax Increment Financing Certification for FY 2027. And this is an annual item, of course. So Scott, will you with that?
Yep, thank you, Mayor. My thanks to the city clerk, Shelley, for all her work in preparing all these annual reports that we have to do. We had kind of the start of the run of these at the last meeting with the street report, the road use tax report. So next one on the list is the tax increment financing certification. So we're required to certify the amount of TIF funds that we intend to claim for each TIF district no later than December 1st of each year. So you've seen this over the years many times. We have to, in order for projects to be eligible for TIF revenue to come to us, there has to be a debt established. So something like a general obligation bond, a TIF revenue bond, an internal advance or loan agreement. So that's oftentimes why we create these internal loans or advances, is to create that instrument of debt so that we can certify that for TIF collection to the county auditor. So the only really caveat is that we can't ask for more in TIF revenues than we have debt on the books. So we only get the maximum amount of whatever we've had. And so for many years, we've not certified the maximum amount that we could in terms of the debt that we've had. So I think we probably had some review on this in the past. I think you pretty well understand the principle of the tax refinancing and how that works. So when the TIF district is established, let's say you have an individual property that has a valuation of $100,000 is the base value when the district's established. Over time, that value grows. Let's say it is, I used in the cover memo example, would increase to $250,000. So that $150,000 is what we refer to as the increment. And that's where we get the revenue from TIF to drive that debt. So the other taxing entities continue to collect as normal on that base valuation, but the city, as long as we have eligible debt, we can collect on that increment. Now there are certain 403.19 is the section of the Iowa Code that provides certain protections for various levies. So the school has several levies that are protected that we're not able to collect against, as well as the debt service levy, pebble levy, those kinds of things. So for Benton County, for the city of Atkins, the consolidated tax rate for fiscal year 25 is $31.19. So then we look and see what is the TIF amount that's not eligible to collect. So that 403.19, those excluded levies, those total $4.12. So that leaves us with what I would call a TIF collection rate of $27.07 per thousand of taxable valuation. So that's the amount that we get to apply on the taxable value of that increment. So a little review on that. So this year's certification, you'll notice in your packet of materials there, the new debt. The certification is proposed to be $1,164,284. The new debt that we've added for TIF for 2025 certification includes $40,225. That's for that internal, if you call that internal loan agreement, that we are going to recoup costs that we've incurred for engineering, legal, administrative costs associated with Stone Ridge development project. So we're going to certify that. Then we are certifying the Stone Ridge internal loan for the capital expenses. This is the one I brought to you several months back. That was done a number of years ago, but the project was just never certified. So we're going to certify it this year. That's at $315,000, and that's to repay the road use tax fund and general fund for internal advances for capital costs associated with the Stone Ridge development project. We also have the Stone Ridge rebate agreement that we'll be certifying. We estimate that at $190,000 for fiscal year '26. And again, that one, if you recall, subject to the annual appropriation. The total amount of the obligation was $685,000, but we already had a payment in fiscal year '24, '25, and then this will be the third payment for fiscal year '26 on that one, or fiscal year '27 actually. And then the fire station building project, the entire amount of that bond issuance of $3,075,000, that will be a new certification for this year as well, so. And then you got in the packet just copies of that, those forms, so just kind of look at those for a quick moment here. You'll see that first one after the resolution, or after the resolution. That's just the page that we're showing the not previously certified debt. So that's when you have the fire station project in it. That's where we get to $3,620,225. So those are for projects that have not been previously certified. Shelley always likes to kick me because they use these terms incorrectly half the time. Certification and request. So these are what we're certifying. And then the next page after that, so we have that certification page. If you look at that, that's where that total comes up. So again, we've got the internal loan for $40,225, another internal loan for the $315, the development agreement on the tax rebate to Stone Ridge of the $190, and then the bond issue for the fire station project, $3,075,000. So that's actually what we're certifying. It's not what we're requesting for revenues for fiscal year '27. So what we're requesting is on the next sheet. I'll just run through that here real quick. So what we're requesting is the 2016 AGO. That's $107,700. That's the final payment on that bond issue, by the way. If you recall, the year that we're in currently, fiscal year '26, we're paying off the 2015 A. And then this year in '27, we'll be paying the last payment on the 2016 A. The state revolving loan fund that we have for the lift station project, we had certified that and requested it years ago. We did it for 5 straight years and then took pause. So we're going to resume collection on that one. That's our sewer revolving loan fund note that we have through the state revolving loan fund program for the lift station improvement project done in 2016, I think, 2017. And then the other state revolving loan fund is for the wastewater treatment plant itself. And so we're going to make a request because that is also eligible, as I see it. It's in an urban renewal area. It's identified in our urban renewal plan as a project. And so we're making a request for that, $249,320 for the payment on that wastewater treatment plant. Then 2025 GO, that is the payment we're going to make on the fire station bond issue, $150,000. If you recall from when that was structured, the initial payments were a little bit lighter because we're going to be retiring some debt, so the payments get a little bit bigger as you go a little bit deeper into the years on that. But again, we should have plenty of TIF revenues available to offset some of those. The Stone Ridge Phase 4 rebate agreement, again, we're making the ask for $190,000 or the maximum available to us. Stone Ridge Phase 4 internal loan, that's the one I talked about a moment ago for $315,000. That's where we floated a $115,000 loan from general, $200,000 for road use for some of those capital expenses associated with that subdivision. And then Stone Ridge Phase 5, as I mentioned a moment ago, the engineering, legal, administrative, $40,224 for that. So those are the actual requests that we're making of the county for funds. I'll be giving a longer version of that after the council meeting if anybody's interested in sticking around.
Do you really want to do that?
Okay, thank you, Scott.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Okay, motion by Bell, second. Amy?
Second.
Okay, second by Stolen. Further discussion?
A little off the subject, but after the first of the year, I would like to get TIF on the schedule to talk about of how we're going to manage it in the future and put some actual procedures together of how the city will manage TIF.
Sure.
We have an urban renewal plan on the books.
We do.
1990.
91.
91.
Yep, we got 91, 94, August, 94, December, and 2021, 23, we made an amendment for the fire station, and then, that's it. 25 when we did.
Just needs to be cleaned up.
What? Well, you
When
clean it up, I don't, yeah, you can't, you don't clean up those amendments other than.
No, you're just looking for like a policy discussion on how we want to utilize.
In other words, have how are we going to utilize TIF in the future? I'm not referring to anything other than most cities have a process of this is what we will use TIF funds for, this is what we will not use TIF funds for, and we don't have that.
And I'm actually saying we do, we forgot about it.
Yeah, we have an urban renewal plan, but I think what you're asking is more of a policy statement. So within the parameters of that urban renewal plan, it'd be like a whole list of things that we could do. I think you're saying that you want to kind of narrow it down a bit.
Yes.
Okay, we have a motion and a second, with the roll call vote then, Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
EJ Bell,
Aye.
and Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries. And moving on to a related topic, the FY 2025 Annual Urban Renewal Report. And with that, Scott, review that report for us.
Yes, thank you, Mayor. Again, it's another one that has to be into the State Department of Management by December 1st. It's all done online, of course, and we're not allowed to receive any of our budget revenues until we actually have this process complete. So that's kind of one of the important aspects associated with this particular report. Again, Shelley's prepared the report, reflects TIP activity for fiscal year 25, of course, so ending June of 25, starts July 1, 2024. So the beginning, if you note in the report, you'll see the beginning cash balance. We had $262,971. I would only note that there was a kind of a discrepancy. So if you looked at the previous year's report, 24 versus 25, those would not match up. And that's because we had an adjusting journal entry correction here of $19,493.52, which council approved by resolution. That was put in the wrong fund, essentially. So it was moved from the general fund to the tax increment fund to correct that. So the ending cash balance was $362,848. Total revenues associated with the report were $534,942. Expenses were $435,065. Total outstanding debt on the 2025 annual urban renewal report was $2,178,059. If you note in the report, you'll see that the new debt that's covered by the report includes Stone Ridge 5th edition. So we have talked about only about 4th edition, 5th edition. We add that in as a new project. So that was a $660,000 tax rebate commitment from the city. So that's reflected as a new project in the report. Cardinal Avenue, if you recall on that one, we had that project done a number of years ago. And so we had collected those TIF funds previously, and then we passed a resolution to move those out of the debt service fund back into, or out of the TIF fund into the general fund where we originally had borrowed that, done that internal loan back in 2014. So that was something that was in the audit that we got that cleaned up. So that's considered a new project. So we need to identify that for the urban renewal report. And then the fire station, $125,000 is also a project added in there as well. So I think I've got anything else on that one. Anybody has any questions on that one?
Scott, looking at the numbers there, where is the total increment that TIF has brought into us? I see the assessed amounts and the taxable. I was curious.
So, are you, which page are you
On the second page, was interested in what the increment over time, because we've, over the years, we've used this, since
Oh.
1994.
on? Yeah, I don't
That's
think
listed on that
that
report.
would be in this, added up over all those years, yeah.
Well,
Increment.
like those revenue pages would have what was incremental used and not used, if that's
Mhm.
what you're looking for.
Yeah, that would only be for this year. I think you're wondering
Oh.
about the whole time, that's 91.
Oh, yeah.
Because a few years ago, we went through and we added up with the funds received via TIF.
Mhm.
It's been
Yeah.
very helpful to the city as far as the projects and things.
Oh, yeah, you just have to look at like every one of those
Yeah.
for like
Mhm.
30-some years.
Every one of the districts that were created, and, yeah.
So,
Yeah, I mean, basically, that's for like right now, if you look at the, page 1 on
Mhm.
here, that's where kind of the summary of what we have for each one of those areas is. So you
Mhm.
kind of see the valuations that's there and available to us on those,
Mhm.
but that's just for this year.
I see the total of the assessed is 43 million and the taxable is 21 million, which would make sense because most of our
Is
items are residential,
Mhm.
so,
Yeah.
yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah, we're fortunate to have that growth in there.
You bet.
Would we, council entertain a motion to approve resolution 2025-1108, that's the annual urban renewal report?
Motion approved.
Motion by Dursky, do I have a second? Do I have a second, anyone?
Second.
Second by Stolen. Any further discussion? All right, hearing none, the roll call vote, Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
EJ Bell,
Aye.
and Trevor Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries. And moving on to the 2025 annual financial report, again, Scott.
Yep, thank you, Mayor. This is the last of the reports we have to have done by December 1st and submitted this one to the auditor of the state. So this course is for fiscal year 25. Chapter 384.22 requires that to be done and certified in by December 1st. So you've got a copy. This is the draft copy. Once it's approved, then Shelley can get it to the system and upload it. It won't say draft on it anymore, but for the purpose of the packet, we'll just kind of run through what that report looks like. A lot of this you probably heard previously when we reviewed, I had reviewed the June 30th audit, so many of these are kind of the same kind of numbers from that. So looking at that sheet, just maybe some of the highlights there. I know AJ talked about this many times early on. So the use of the money and property, that's basically interest income. So like when the bond proceeds that we got and invested those, you can see we made quite a bit more money. And thank you, Andy, for your bank doing that work. So
Thanks again, Andy.
quite a bit more interest income than what we had projected there. So that was great. Intergovernmental, essentially those are the FEMA dollars and CDBG dollars. Those were higher than what we had anticipated for our original budget projection there as well. And then miscellaneous, you'll see a number there for about $15,588. That's a dividend that we got from our insurance company, EMC. On that, we're part of a risk sharing pool, and there was a dividend given to us on that. We have some transfers and so forth there. So the transfers, if you see the one is $296,733. That was for the Cardinal Avenue project as well as the fire station, $125,000 that we transferred from, in our case, TIF to general. So the $375,000, the transfer in was for part of the bond proceeds, was to reimburse the water fund for capital expenses that had been previously made from the water fund, capital projects. So that brought water back up into the black. So in terms of the actual numbers for fiscal year 25 for revenues, you see the budgeted amount, we had about $7.5 million was what the anticipated budget was, and we ended at about $8.9 million. So that was, again, just higher revenues than what we had projected. Recall, on the FEMA money, we had not anticipated getting we had a substantial portion of that in fiscal year 2025. We anticipated that they would have distributed it a little more evenly between 25 and 26, but it's much more heavily weighted in 25, so that's one of the reasons the revenues up, again, the interest income, those kinds of things. On the expense side of things, public works, we just had less capital projects there, and then also on the fire station on capital projects, we had anticipated more would be spent in fiscal year 25 than was spent in fiscal year 26 on the project. So in terms of the overall, again, final numbers, and you've heard this before, but generally revenues about $8.9 million, expenses a little over $6 million. So always good to end the year on a positive note. So excess revenues above expenditures about $2.8 million. So much better than what we had projected originally as part of the budget. So again, some of those expenses are still coming, of course. And then in terms of it's not filled in here at the bottom because it's calculated when you enter it into the system, but we've talked about this before, for our constitutional debt limit. So in terms of the general obligation debt that we have on the books, you'll see that there at the bottom, just shy of $5 million. The revenue debt is about $2.6 million. So the more meaningful total there, of course, is the general obligation debt, because we're limited under the Iowa Constitution to having no more than 5% of our assessed value in general obligation debt. So the assessed value for the city, we're just slightly under $11 million, or excuse me, $11 million of debt capacity for the city. So if you look at we're about $214 million is the total valuation. They take that times 5%, so you ultimately will provide about $11 million is the maximum amount of general obligation debt that we could have on the books, and we have currently that just a little under $5 million, so about 45%. So not too bad. That's probably about it on that report. No, Shelley, I'll review it. Mary?
No, it's a good report. It's got good numbers on it.
Scott, I just want to say that's awesome. I mean, over the last year since you've come in, that's looking good. I know, working through the budget last year and getting all that stuff, that's looking way healthier compared to previous years, and just putting our feet down and, doing projects we should be doing projects we shouldn't be doing, and just better way of balancing it. So I know I'm happy. I'm sure most of the council's happy, and I'm sure people listening probably like to hear that as well. So,
well, I appreciate you guys and your good financial stewardship. We wouldn't be in this good spot without all the good management you guys have provided.
I just know the city's got some major water stuff that people want solved,
For sure.
and
Yep.
having a good financial statement.
Yep.
And I know we've all have said it. I know Trevor said it multiple times. I've said it, Dave. I mean, so it's just, I
Yep.
think that's a good step forward, and hopefully in the coming year or two, we can really hammer down and get the water pro stuff solved and going, and that still looks like that. So
Yeah, we're in a good position to be
So-
able to take on some projects.
so that's the goal.
All right. With that, do we have any motion to approve resolution 2025-11-09? Let's see. annual financial report.
I'll make a motion to approve.
Here in
Second.
June 3rd, okay? Motion by Bill, second by Fisher. Further discussion? Okay, hearing none, roll call vote, Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
E.J. Bell,
Aye.
Trevor Dursky,
Aye.
motion carries. Okay, moving on then to item number 6, the city administrator's report.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll run through these real fast in the interest of time. Just give you a quick update. I think you all know that we got the auditors here last couple weeks or so. And my compliments to Shelley for a great job that she's doing, managing that whole process. A lot of work involved with that. I did reach out to the folks at Iowa Codification. Of course, that's another one of the high priority projects, been on the books for a while to do. So got a proposal from them, so I'll bring that back for the next council meeting to update the code of ordinances. The current code is 2005. You know, obviously we continue to pass ordinances, but this would be a good comprehensive update to that whole code of ordinance process. So that's definitely a lot of work goes into that, but definitely an exciting thing. But again, just I think another one of those high priority projects that we're kind of knocking down one at a time. Let's skip one here for a minute. Just the update on solid waste and recycling transition. We keep putting in your packet a copy of that. We keep pumping that out online. Gives an idea to the public, the schedule as to when waste management's last collection day will be for recycling, which will be December 24th on the recycling bins, December 31st on the solid waste bin. The new hauler, S&J, will be bringing their cans into the community the week of the 15th through the 19th. So there'll be a little bit of an overlap there where some people have, you know, some extra cans, probably one extra can for maybe a week or so. But so we're definitely on target there, and you know, we've been getting a lot of good questions asked about recycling. So if you recall, we're going to have that community cardboard recycling dumpster. Talked to the guys at S&J here the other day, and if you recall, they're fabricating atop one of these big, I don't have a yard container, but a large roll-off container. And they'll have a lid on it with slats in it, so you break down the cardboard and then insert the cardboard in when it's broken down. Can't remember whose idea, maybe it was Trevor's idea, but somebody, also we have that in Clear Lake as well, but that is really, I've getting a lot of positive feedback on that from people in town. Really excited about being one of that cardboard opportunity. So we have that available here at City Hall, so when people come in to pay their utility bills, we have those out at the counter, encourage people to take those. So working our way through that one. Skip down to the next one, update on the newly elected officials open records. I think everybody that's been newly elected has already completed that training, so got that done, out of the way. Everybody's ready to come on board. After the first year, possible, it's already completed that as well. And then in your packet, you've got a copy. Councilmember Fisher has this last meeting, and so I drafted a proposal for the job position announcement for the wastewater superintendent position. The incumbent there will be retiring sometime during the spring of 2026. And so, as I think Dave correctly said last time, these are not real positions that are quickly filled necessarily. There's a learning curve, so probably getting someone on sooner rather than later seems to be prudent advice. So thank you for that. So if that looks good to everybody, we can go ahead and start distributing that and get that out, because we'll want to really do a good search on that.
I think you did a good job on it.
I appreciate everybody's feedback. I had the same meetings, good feedback as well.
The only thing I was gonna mention for the garbage, I just want to, can you pin that on top, like on the Facebook page?
We're just keep.
I know it keeps cycling,
Yep.
and you keep posting it,
Yep.
because right now, people are thinking other stuff, but when we get to those
Oh, yeah.
dates,
Oh, yeah.
there's gonna be people screaming that aren't listening to the, and like, what's going on, like,
Yep.
you know, and it's our job to keep pumping it out, all of
Yep,
us.
I agree. Yep.
So it's like, hey guys, you know, whatever, we know we're gonna get complaints from, which is fine, I'm willing to say and help, but,
Yep.
you know, and we've done a good job of pumping it out, but.
And Bob, you've done a really.
I know,
good
that's what I
job
said,
of
he keeps
keeping
pumping
it
them out.
there,
Like,
We'll take all the help we
it's,
get.
it's almost like continuously be number one at the top, like constant, like, you know, so hopefully people are.
Let's make
are seeing-
change. Yep.
Oh, no,
Hopefully.
of course.
Right,
There's gonna be
I know.
hiccups.
Shelley just said it, she's gonna get bombarded.
Yeah, we will,
So,
we will.
but
I don't do that, I don't see that, I didn't know that.
we know.
And we had, there's gonna be.
Bob, maybe you'd be a town crier.
Yeah.
I'll be in the front
Hear
yard.
ye, hear ye.
Yeah, so-
Stop cars in the front.
Yeah.
Yes, and Jay have some maintenance.
They do, yep, that's part of, yep, but we'll work with them on some.
Instead of ringing the bell,
Yeah.
Yeah,
You'll take that bell away,
Mhm. Yeah,
or if they hit it, it zaps them.
yeah.
One thing I like about the S and J containers is they have their phone number actually on the bin itself, so.
So, and I know they're gonna be awesome, but it's just one of those things. It's just a big change, so it'll take some people a little bit of time to adjust.
You know, get a couple flyers and, you know, maybe post them at the lumberyard and
Yep.
a couple establishments
Good idea.
downtown.
Yep.
And this,
We haven't done like a
mailers
mailer
out.
to everybody's mailbox. Should we bust that out real quick, just
I
simply
had
on that?
asked that, but.
Can we
I don't-
bust out a quick mailer
We
to,
can do that.
just, at least it's hitting everybody's mailbox?
Sure.
That might be, at least on
At least
that
the
one,
Second week in December.
Yeah,
get that
just
out
so they're
fresh
seeing
in
it
their mind,
fresh.
not thrown away.
you know?
Good idea.
right?
Just
I
talking
didn't
about
get
that,
mine.
just all about the garbage, so does not cover with a bunch of other stuff, just,
Yep, good idea.
especially just the
Yep.
situation.
And not everybody's looking at social media. So
Correct.
good idea.
Mhm,
So.
mhm. And Scott and I were talking too, that S and J has a mailer they're gonna be putting out too, so that'll be helpful as well, so expect mailing in your mailbox, folks.
What's that?
S&J.
S and J's put the mail.
I,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, that's part of the contract.
Mhm.
that'll help.
Good.
All right, and then the mayor's report, we held a walk through the fire station, update with the fire district trustees, the 3 members of that board. They have contributing funds to that, so, an active part of that, the fire department for a lot of years, so, it's good to see them walk through that. And then I attended the EMA meeting, last night, in fact, and one of the topics there was the restart of the Dwayne Arnold nuclear plant, how that's going to impact some of the budgets for the county on that. But that's looking good as far as the funding sources there, so that was good news. With that, moving on to the consent agenda.
Shoo.
That's
I'm so sorry.
Item number 8. Would we have a motion to approve the consent agenda for this evening?
Second?
Okay, motion by Fisher. Second by Bell. I should mention those consent agenda items are the approval of the list of bills and claims and the approval of the November 10th, 2025 council meeting minutes. So, any further discussion? Okay, hearing none, the roll call vote is Bob Stolen,
Aye.
David Fisher,
Aye.
E.J. Bell,
Aye.
and Trevor Dursky. Motion carries. All ayes. Moving on to other business for this evening.
I do have one that I'd like to, again, recognize Shelley. She did an outstanding job. It was a posting that went out for the credit and debit cards. If you were gonna pay online, or pay,
For the
Pay it
credit
for-
card.
Pay it
Oh,
with credit card for like
that we're
water
offering
bills.
that.
that we're offering that.
Okay.
And that was, I know that
It's ready to go.
was not easy to probably get your arms around that entire thing. But that was, the way it was put together, I thought was outstanding. That was posted out there on social media. And it left no questions in my mind, and it was what I thought.
She did all the work, I just made the post.
He made
But needless to say, both of you guys did an outstanding job, but, it was honestly, so Scott did tell us that you were the one that did all the work,
Well,
so.
I got it implemented,
The
yeah.
hard work she did, I did the easy.
See, now
Well,
people can pay
I
for
really
it.
appreciate it, guys. I
Yeah,
I
really
don't have
do.
to pay for that.
Yeah.
That really was, that was phenomenal.
Money
Thank
saved.
you.
Mike, right, just one more thing on, the generator price for next week. So probably I'll develop it using, local option sales tax. So we've got, there's some in there for community betterment, we think that would fit pretty well with that, so we wouldn't have to use property tax money, we could use local option sales tax money for that, so I think it'd be a great fit for this project.
Good idea.
Okay.
So, budget process,
Mhm.
let's say, when do we think we could start on that?
Probably pretty mid-December, probably.
Okay. Do you anticipate work sessions?
Oh, yeah.
I guess you could follow up with this,
Mm.
but general availability is for that.
Yep.
And I think it'd be good for us, Scott, to put a schedule together because of those publications
Yeah, oh, yeah.
and the public hearings that have to be held and when it
Yeah.
has to be to the county auditors and,
Isn't it
Yeah,
all soon
so-
as
Like we do.
yeah, we'll put a calendar together and so you know what's gotta be done by when.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that'll let people get their home calendars aligned with that too, if
Yep.
that will work out, so.
I think we're quickly coming to the next phase of things to build off of and improve. But we'll have to prioritize things, I think, and just won't be able to do it all in maybe 2 years, but I think there's stuff to talk about. The website, the code of ordinances, and that digitizing the index search.
Oh, yeah.
So, that's like
Your Christmas
plenty
list.
of time to spend.
It's like a Christmas list, right? I should mention also, thanks to the guys, for putting up Christmas decorations, you didn't see
Oh,
those
yeah.
tonight, they were great.
Just went up today, so,
Yeah.
but they're wind tested already. so-
No, they're still there. Yep.
That's right.
Well, it looks like they, runners just took out the two, coconut here. And babies left now.
Oh.
I say no too.
What's that?
So, I just asked Shelley, about the December meetings.
Mhm.
Doing one on the week of Christmas doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
Want to move it ahead, or we'll figure something out, we'll,
I guess if you can send in your availability,
so,
then we could, that might be a good way to look at the times.
yeah, it's like
The
the
dates.
23rd. I
It'd be
think
the
is-
9th and the 23rd, and I don't know
Yep.
what does that fall on, well, obviously a
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Okay.
Oh, Christmas is the Thursday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the 23rd.
Yeah, so maybe we call it the tail end of that next week. No, I just one. the
Oh,
week ahead.
before.
The week before.
Oh, the 16th?
Yeah.
So we'd have just two consecutive meetings.
Yeah, I'd prefer that. I got my kids coming into town.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
have family.
Yeah, yeah.
I prefer.
Yep.
Or later, does it have to be on a Tuesday night? Thursday?
No.
I mean, give a little lag time.
You're gonna have a lot of hearing bills.
I'm wondering, yeah,
Mm.
so,
All right, we'll figure something out for, but we'll avoid that week.
All right. Okay, with that, we have conducted our business for this evening. We entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Sterling,
they're on that.
second by Dursky. Roll call vote. Bob Stolen. David Fisher.
Aye.
E.J. Bell.
Aye.
And Charlie Dursky.
Aye.
Motion carries, all ayes. Good evening, everyone. Have a great Thanksgiving.
Oh, he always used to.
Yeah, right, yeah, yeah.
And I would say the 10th